Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is the second time you're seeing my face on this channel. The first time was a reaction to Jax's Dear Joe. This time is going to be a little different based off the title and probably the thumbnail. This is my ranking of the 24 movies I saw this year, and I'm going to preface this is not my top 24 films of the year. Technically it is. It's the only 24 movies I saw this year. Ranked on Letterboxd from 24 to 1. I'll have little cool graphics. I'll play the trailers throughout. Once I get to the top 10, you'll see a little graphic that says top 10. And throughout the video, I'll be like, and now my number 11, my number 12, my number 13. I'll go from 24 to 1. Obviously, you know how it is. From 24 to 11, I'm going to just give a little bit of the actors, the directors, and why I like it or why I don't like it. Let's get into the list. My number 24 movie is The Mousetrap, originally called Mickey's Mousetrap. This movie was made, it was announced on January 1st, 2024, when the Steamboat Willie went into the public domain along with Mickey Mouse. This is one of those movies like the Winnie Pooh Blood and Honey. This is gonna get a sequel next year, I'm pretty sure. But this one I did not like. It is a 2024 Canadian slasher. It is directed, shot, and edited by Jamie Bailey, written by Simon Phillips. Simon Phillips also stars in this as the possessed manager who terrorizes a group of friends inside the amusement arcade, and most of the kills are off screen, which I don't really like about horror movies when the kills aren't on screen. I don't like that. The girl who narrates the story was really not even witnessing it because she was in the arcade the most of the time, but I digress. This movie stars Sophie McIntosh, Callum Sewick, Allegra Nocita, Ben Harris, and Morel Gagne. And that's all I'm going to say about this movie. Let's get into our number 23. Our number 23 movie is Night Swim, our second horror movie, the second one that I did not watch in theaters. Night Swim came out in January of last year. It is an American supernatural horror film written and directed by Bryce McGuire. It is originally based on the 2014 short film by the same name by McGuire and Rod Blackhurst. It stars Wyatt Russell and Carrie Condon, and it follows a suburban family who discover that their backyard swimming pool is haunted by a demonic entity. But the main thing about this demonic entity is that the pool is like super scary and it can kill you whenever it wants. But only 2 people die in this movie. And the movie was so predictable. I mean, so predictable. Like, I watched it with my 2 friends, and my other friend, who I'll link down below, his channel is Slurpee Films. I was watching it with him, and he's paused it right before we started it and said, "I'm gonna predict how this movie happened," and then he predicted it word for word how the movie happened, scene for scene. He predicted how the movie was happen. It was so predictable, and I was just so mad watching this. A cool premise, but a movie that obviously did not need to be made, and it is definitely a horror movie that gets released in January. Now, my number 22 movie is Holiday Touchdown: A Chief's Love Story. This is one of those Hallmark movies that's just not good. I like a couple Hallmark movies. I like the movies that Candace Cameron Bure was in back in like 2018 and 2019. She was a good actor. But Hunter King is not a good actor. There are some good actors in this. Richard Riehle is a great actor. Diedrich Bader is a great actor. All these people are great actors. Hunter King, not as good as her sister. Mary Elizabeth McDonough, I mean, not great. This movie's premise is about a lady who works at a Chiefs shop, and her family had this magic cat when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 1969, Super Bowl IV. Their 21 movie is Joker Folie à Deux, or otherwise known as Joker 2. This came out on October 4th of 2024, and this is the first movie on this list that I watched in theaters. I was so excited for this movie. I loved Joker 1. It came out in 2019. It was a great movie, great take on the character of Joker. I loved his condition, his laugh was a condition. But the one thing that I thought about this movie is what happened to his laugh. His laugh just disappeared. There was a lot of things I could go into this movie. I could go on forever about how much I hated this movie. I was so disappointed walking out of the theaters. I just really did not like Joker Folie à Deux, and just another movie that did not need to be made. Just another cash grab, and it contradicts the entire first movie, which was a top 10 movie for me, but now it can't be, because the second one, spoiler alert, pulls up the fact that Arthur Fleck is not Joker. That it's all in his head, that he's crazy, that he was never Joker. The dude that kills him at the end is Joker. That doesn't make any sense. You contradict the entire first movie. And you make the entire first movie say that it's all in his head? No, you can't do that. You can't do that. My next movie is Red One, the holiday movie starring Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, J.K. Simmons, and a bunch of other people that I really don't care. I did not like this movie, nor did a lot of other people. This movie just really sucked. The action wasn't really that great. I mean, it's just really... Why make this movie? My number 19 movie is Kung Fu Panda 4. I saw this movie in theaters. This was the first movie I saw in theaters this year. I saw it in about February, I believe. February or March. Or maybe April. I don't know. I went and saw this movie and I really liked it when I first saw it. Then I watched it again when it came out on streaming and I didn't like it that much. It's not as good as any of the other three. The third one, lackluster. The fourth one, bad. First one, peak. Second one, peak. Third one, lackluster. Fourth one, bad. And unfortunately, this is the fourth one. I saw this on the same day that I watched Shrek 2. So you put those two next to each other. Shrek 2 was back in theaters for the 20-year anniversary. You put those next to each other, you have one of the greatest animated movies in Shrek 2, and then you got Kung Fu Panda, just a mess that did not need to be made. Now on to my number 18 movie, another movie that I saw in theaters, Beetlejuice, the follow-up to the 1980s classic, Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton, and Catherine O'Hara, and it is just another great movie. This one stars Jenna Ortega as well. Just a really great movie. The first time I watched it. Then I watched it again when it came back on Max. Not as great. The music is still amazing. They got Sven-G Anglar in here. Sven-G Anglar. They somehow got that in the kissing scene with Jenna Ortega's character and the one dude who's like 1,000 years old, which... She's like 16 and he's like 1,000. But, that's really my review for this one. Not bad, not great, but let's get on to number 17. Number 17 is a movie that I also didn't really hate the first time I watched it. Mean Girls the Musical, starring Renee Rapp. It was directed by Samantha Jane and Arturo Perez Jr. It was written by Tina Fey. It stars Tina Fey, Renee Rapp, and Angourie Rice. It stars, Tim Meadows is one of the teachers as well. It's just a great movie. I liked it the first time I saw it. I watched it again. It didn't hit the same. I think the singing was still great. I mean, Renee Rapp is an amazing singer. She's one of the best. She has some of the best power ballads in the game right now. I mean, this is just another great role from her as Regina George. And, I never got to see the Broadway musical. I've heard that it it's a direct ripoff of it. I mean, that's the point, though. It's an adaptation from the Broadway musical, but I've heard from my stepdad and my stepsister that it's not really the same. So let's just get on to number 16. I gave this movie about a 7 out of 10. Number 16 on my list is Maxine. Maxine is the third installment of the X trilogy. The movie's written, directed, and edited by Ty West, and produced, obviously, by A24, or released by A24. The first movie was X, released in 2022. I did not really like that movie. I gave it about a 6.5 out of 10. Pearl, perfect movie. Amazing movie from Pearl, as Pearl, 10 out of 10. And then this takes place right after right after all her friends die, and Maxine is the only survivor. Mia Goth is amazing in this movie. She's not as good as she was in Pearl, but still better than she was in X. I like the ending where they go up onto Hollywood Hill or Maxine Hill, and she shoots her dad. I think that's a great Indian fight, and the twist was cool that her dad is the Night Stalker. I like how they changed it up. Um, just a really good movie overall. 7.5 out of 10. Next is Love Lies Bleeding. Now, Love Lies Bleeding is a movie starring Katie O'Brien and Kristen Stewart, who are in a relationship, and they're trying to take down Kristen Stewart's dad, who is a terrible person. There are some great scenes in this. It is about a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, an 8 out of 10. The only thing that keeps it from getting up to a 9 or a 10 out of 10 is the fact is that ending scene. I don't really like that ending scene where Katie O'Brien's character gets up really tall, like 80 feet tall, and she just like squeezes on Kristen Stewart's dad. I don't really like that part. It looks a little weird. It's still a great movie, great acting. I'm pretty sure this is Katie O'Brien's first movie. The cinematography, the editing is great. The part where Katie O'Brien barfs up Kristen Stewart, that was insane. Still a great movie. I saw this on X. I forgot to mention I saw Maxine in theaters. So for a counter, if you're counting, that is so far 4 movies that I've seen in theaters this year. I think it was about 11 in total. But now let's just get on to number 14. Next at my 14 spot is Am I Okay? Starring Dakota Johnson. It is directed by Tig Notaro and Stephanie Aline. It is written by Lauren Pomerantz and is produced by a lot of people. Jessica Albaum, Will Ferrell, Eric Feig, Lucy Catata, Dakota Johnson, Ro Donnelly, Stephanie Aline, Tig Notaro, and Lauren Pomerantz. It stars Dakota Johnson, Sonoya Mizuno, Jermaine Fowler, Chrissy Clemens, and Molly Gordon. Also, Tig Notaro makes an appearance in this, and she is absolutely hilarious. They are absolutely hilarious in the one scene that they are in. Dakota Johnson, she's been in a ton of movies. I mean, this year she was in Madam Web, which is a disaster of a movie. She was in Peanut Butter Falcon, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Black, all those movies. She's just a pretty big actor, and she does really good in this movie. Odessa Azion is in this movie as well. She plays the Pilates instructor, and she's really funny in this one. I think this is just a really good movie, and Jermaine Fowler also plays a great Danny in this movie. This was a Sundance movie released on January 24th, 2022, and it premiered on Max on January 6th, 2024, so I'm counting this as a 2024 movie, and you can't harass me on that one because it's my list. And coming up, I have another movie that was from 2022 technically, but it didn't get a theatrical release till 2024, excuse me. And that movie is now. My number 13 spot is Across the River and Into the Trees, a film by Paula Ortiz based on the final novel for Ernest Hemingway by the same name. It stars Liev Schreiber and Matilda DeAngelis, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Josh Hutcherson, and Danny Huston. It is officially a 2022 movie released for another film festival, but it didn't get a full theatrical release until this year. I went and saw it in the theaters, so this is my 5th movie that I've seen in theaters. And I was just scrolling on my phone, like, I want to go see a movie tonight. And I go in Fandango, and I see this movie. And I click on it, I read the description. In a post-World War II Venice, Italy, American Army Colonel Richard Cantwell, haunted by the war, faces news of his illness in stoic disregard. Determined to spend a week in quiet solitude, he meets a girl in Venice. And this girl is played by Matilda DeAngelis. And she plays it really well. Never heard of Matilda before, but she did a really good job in this movie. I've never seen a movie that Liev Schreiber was in. Obviously, I've heard of him. He's a pretty big actor. Still, it was a really good movie, and I recommend you go watch it. Now on to my number 12. My number 12, Longlegs. This is a Osgood Perkins movie starring Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage. It is a horror movie about an FBI agent named Lee Harker. she's a gifted recruit, and she has like a really smart brain, and it opens up on this shot where they're going into this house, and she's like, "That's the house with the killer in it," and her partner's like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "I just know." And then you're just like, "We'll go knock on the door just so you can get this over with." He knocks on the door and he goes, "Sir, can I?" Poof, shot. She was right. And then she goes upstairs, catches him. But it's not Longlegs. Longlegs is played by Nicolas Cage, which is he is terrifying in this movie. And I mean, Micah Monroe plays an absolutely perfect Lee Harker. I mean, she's outstanding. Never heard of Osgood Perkins before, but I will have to go see Monkey Man, I think it's called, or The Monkey. I think Monkey Man might be the Dev Patel movie, but The Monkey, his next movie coming out, it's Monkey Man or The Monkey, something like that. And I have to go see that because I really liked Longlegs. I saw it in theaters. That is so far the 6th movie on this list that I have seen in theaters. And I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Some people didn't really enjoy it. I watched it again when I on Prime. I rented it, and I really liked it still. Not as good as the first time. I gave it about a 9 out of 10 the second time, but a 10 out of 10 the first time. So I'm going to meet in the middle there and give it a 9.5 out of 10. Number 11 on my list is the third installment of the Deadpool series, Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It also stars Emma Corrin as Professor X's sister. This is the first installment of the series that is technically under MCU, because the first ones are under Fox, but Fox died, so now we're under MCU now. And this is obviously the most explicit Disney movie ever, because technically Marvel is under DC. This is one of the only Disney movies that I know where there's this many F words in it. It is still absolutely hilarious. I've watched this multiple times since. I don't get what people are talking about when they're like, this movie's not funny. This movie's really not funny. The jokes don't land. The jokes land over and over and over again. I really like this movie. I'm going to give it about a 9.6 out of 10. Just a little above Longlegs. It is not better than Deadpool 2, but it is better. I would say Deadpool 1 and 2 are 10 out of 10 movies. And I think Deadpool and Wolverine is a 9.6, so I think it fits right there that Deadpool and Wolverine is technically the worst in the series, but it's still an outstanding movie. And you know what time it is now? Let's get into my top 10 movies that I saw this year. So far, I've listed 7 movies that I've seen in theaters, and this is the 8th. Wicked, released in November of 2024. It was produced by John M. Chu, and it obviously stars Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, Ariana Grande as Galinda, or Glinda, because she changes her name to that, Jeff Goldblum as the Oz, and Michelle Yeoh as one of the teachers. Ethan Slater's in here, Peter Dinklage is the Go. And I'm not saying like he's the greatest actor of all time. He is one of the greatest actors of all time. But he is the actual GOAT in this movie. He's the teacher. My one complaint on this is how long it is. Although that's not really a big complaint, because you'll see with my top 5. I like long movies. But this one, I don't really know how they made it 3 hours long. But all power to you. I don't really have much to say about this movie, just that it's really good, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the songs in it. I love the soundtrack. Ariana Grande is great in this. Cynthia Erivo, I haven't heard of Cynthia Erivo before. I know she has won a Tony, I believe an Emmy, and she's going for her Grammy and Oscar this year. She could get the EGOT. But we'll see. I think she did an outstanding job in this movie. I know she won her Tony for The Color Purple, but we'll see if she gets her EGOT this year. Anyways, let's get on to my number 9. My number 9 is I Saw the TV Glow, a movie directed and written by Jane Schoenbrun. It is produced by Emma Stone. It is also produced by Sam Antilli, Sarah Winchell, Dave McCrary, and Ali Herdig. It stars Justice Smith, Brindy Lundy Payne, Helena Howard, and Lindsay Jordan, along with Connor O'Malley. Connor O'Malley is in this for only a little bit, but he's still in it. It is a 2024 supernatural horror fantasy film written and directed by James Schoenbrun. It stars Justice Smith and Brindy London Payne as two troubled high school students whose connection to their favorite television show drives them to question their reality and identities. Now, later in this movie, there is one of the coolest scenes that I've ever seen in any movie ever. It is Justice Smith in front of the TV, and all the flickers are coming out of the TV, and he's getting possessed by the TV, and he starts to really start to wheeze for the rest of his life. He has to use his inhaler a lot. When he's working at the play place, he just has that oh my god, the scene where he just stands in the corner and just screams. Oh my god, what a scene. Oh my god. And the 9-minute monologue by Bridget Lundy Payne? 9 minutes? 9 minutes telling us where she has been for the last 15 or 10 years, where she has been, where she went. She's giving us a 9-minute monologue about that. My number 8 spot goes to My Old Ass. Written and directed by Megan Park. It stars Maisie Stella, Percy Hines White, Maddie Ziegler, Karis Brooks, and Aubrey Plaza. Mainly those 5 people are in it. The cinematography is done by Kristen Coral, and I mention that because the cinematography in this movie is insane. This movie follows a girl who has just turned 18, struggling with her life when she decides to take a bunch of mushrooms. She goes on a bad trip, and she talks to her future self, played by Aubrey Plaza, who she's like, if you could say one thing to prevent anything from happening in my life, what is it? And she says, don't talk to anybody named Chad. They get into this big fight near the end of the movie when Aubrey Plaza disappears for a couple of days, and she thinks, oh my god, do I die in the future at 39? Do I die at 39? And that's what I was thinking when I was watching this. And then she finally shows up at the end of the movie after she completely falls in love with Chad. She is with Chad. They are making out, and then Aubrey Plaza shows up, and Aubrey Plaza is like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I told you to not be with Chad. And she's like, tell me why I can't be with Chad. Chad is perfect. Chad is amazing. And then she goes, Chad dies. That's what happens to him. He doesn't cheat on you. Nothing happens because he's a perfect person. He dies. And I don't want you to see that. And usually nobody can see 39-year-old Elliot. But Chad can see 39-year-old Elliot. And it's weird. And you're kind of thinking, oh, is it because she's still in love with him and that he can see her? It's just like a weird thing that makes you think about it. My number 7 film is In the Summers. It was released to the Sundance Film Festival, one of the biggest film festivals in the world. And I saw a trailer for this when I went and watched Whiplash, the 10-year anniversary in theaters this year. And I saw a trailer for this, and I was like, oh, this looks really good. I'm going to go watch this. It stars Renee Perez and Sasha Calais as the 2 daughters of Vincente, who is played by Renee Perez. Leo Mihail and Sasha Calais play Eva and Violetta, who are the 2 daughters of Vincente, and they are insanely good in this movie. The cinematography is great, the music is great, the acting is outstanding. The part that really breaks me down, though, is that Vincente is trying to be a really good dad to Eva and Violetta, but he's just not, he can't do it, because his dad was so bad to him that it's wearing off onto his own kids, and it creates such a sad movie. I knew this movie was going to be good the moment I watched the trailer. I was so excited to watch this, and I was about to say, there is no way this movie sucks. And it didn't. My number 5 movie is Challengers, starring Mike Feist, Josh O'Connor, and Zendaya. It is directed by Luca Guadagnino. It is the first movie that he directed this year. I have the poster down in my basement. I'm so lucky I snagged this at the movie theater before I watched it. It is a great movie. The cinematography, I mean, it's legitimately insane how good the cinematography is in this. And I gave this a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. I saw it on Amazon Prime when it came out. My review for it on Letterboxd was verbatim. This movie was really great. The sex actually moves the plot along. And I'll go further on that. Pause the review right now. I'll go further on that. Like in X, I said earlier in this video, like in X, there's a lot of just sex scenes that don't really have purpose to the plot. But the plot of this movie is that Zendaya's character originally meets these two guys, and whoever wins gets her. It turns out to be Josh O'Connor's character. He ends up being a douchebag, so she dumps him and starts dating Mike Feist's character. They end up getting married. Then Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor play in a final matchup, and Josh O'Connor comes up and meets Zendaya, and she's like, "Let him win. Please let him win tomorrow. It's his final match." And he's like, "What are you going to do for me?" She goes, "I'll do anything." And they go have sex. Flashback to college, or to high school, when they first meet her. And they're like, and the night after, Josh O'Connor's character sleeps with her. Him and Mike Feist are playing tennis, and he's like, "Serve exactly like I do if you guys had sex." And he goes, you put the ball in the center of the racket. And he goes, "Alright, do that." He does it. They had sex. Flash forward to the final match. Right in the final round. 30-30. Places the ball in the center of the racket. Oh my god. What a callback. The cinematography is insane in this movie. The ball that's hit back and forth. The only thing that made me was the CGI on the injury scene. I didn't really like that. I liked the ending. I like how it doesn't show you who won. It just shows, I mean, you can obviously guess that Mike Feist's character won because he hits the ball, and then Zendaya goes, "Yes!" So you can assume that he won, but it doesn't show you who wins. It's all up to assumption. I really like that about this movie. I just really like this movie. Let's get on to my number 4. My number 4 movie is Gladiator 2. I don't usually like these 20-year sequels that they do, like Incredibles 2. Funny the first time, not funny anymore. But Ridley Scott does a really good job with this movie. It is directed by him. It is produced by him. It stars Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, and Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington's up for a lot of awards this year. I think it's just a really good movie. I think Paul Mescal's acting in this is outstanding. I think Joseph Quinn's acting is outstanding as the dude that gets to decide. I think it's just a really good movie. I think it's just as good as the first one, if not better. A lot of people don't think that it is. There's not much to really say about this movie. I just think it's a really good movie. And who will get my bronze medal? Drumroll, please. Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 is the directorial debut of Kelsey Mann, and it follows up the 2015 movie directed by Pete Docter. Now, my one complaint about Inside Out 2 is that they replaced Bill Hader and with Tony Hale. I don't like Tony Hale's fear voice in this movie. That's my only complaint with it. Other than that, it is a perfect movie. It is still a perfect movie because it's not a bad one. I just don't like it because Bill Hader's voice was so good. And you can't even really tell the difference from Mindy Kaling to whoever the new girl is, but the new emotions. Anxiety, played by Maya Hawke. Envy, played by Ayo Edebiri. Embarrassment, played by Paul Walter Hauser. And Ennui, played by, sorry if I butcher this, Adele Exarchopoulos. I definitely butchered that. French actor. She plays Ennui, otherwise known as Boredom. And I think she does an outstanding job in this movie. I think everyone does an outstanding job in this movie, mainly Maya Hawke. There's a lot of sad quotes in this movie. This is one of the saddest Pixar movies in a long time. Here's one quote, and it's kind of like a little sloppy. It's not an exact quote. Maybe I can't stop anxiety. Maybe that's what happens when you grow up. You start feeling less happy. It's one of the best quotes in any Pixar movie in a long time. My number two, the movie getting my silver medal, is A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothy Chalamet, directed and written by James Mangold, produced by James Mangold. It stars Timothy Chalamet, Edward Norton. It also stars Elle Fanning and Monica Barbaro. Boyd Holbrook is in this movie. Boyd Holbrook plays Johnny Cash. Monica Barbaro plays Joan, I think her name is. Elle Fanning plays Bob Dylan's girlfriend. Ed Norton plays Pete Seeger. And obviously Timothy Chalamet plays Bobby Dylan. Now, Bob Dylan and Timothy Chalamet sound the exact same. It's so good, and Timothy Chalamet learned how to play the guitar for 5 years. Learned how to sing like Bob Dylan. He sounds exactly like Bob Dylan. And I mean, his acting in this movie is great. I've loved Timothy Chalamet ever since I saw Little Women, ever since I saw Dune, ever since I saw Beautiful Boy. And I mean, speaking of Timothy Chalamet, let's get to my number one. You probably guessed it by the hint. My number one is Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is written and directed by Denis Villeneuve. It stars Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Christopher Walken, Stellan Skarsgård, Javier Bardem. Like, this cast list is insane. The cinematography by Greg Fraser. I want to point out Greg Fraser. He is completely outstanding in this movie. The scene where he's standing on top of the mountain and the explosion goes off. The scene when he's riding the giant sandworm. It's insane. You know why the cinematography is so good? Because it's Greg Fraser, who is known for The Batman in 2022. The acting is great. The story is great. The music is great. The cast list is amazing. The directing is amazing. The cinematography is amazing. There's not one thing in this movie that you can say is bad. The final fight between Austin Butler and Timothy Chalamet, it's outstanding. I could talk about this movie for hours and hours and hours. This is one of the best movies of the past 5 years. I think it is the best movie of the past 5 years. The only movie that really comes close to it is Dune Part 1. Dune Part 1 is the only movie that really comes close to this. I'm just going to roll into the outro. Thank you guys for watching so much. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite movie of the year was. Tell me what your least favorite movie of the year was. Tell me what you thought of my list. And I will make more videos like this in the future. But most likely my next video will be another compilation. Thank you for watching. Bye.